If you're a first-time buyer or an investor in the GTA, then this episode is for you. Welcome to TdotRealEstate, your go-to source for everything real estate in Greater Toronto Area. In this episode, I'm going to discuss the top and bottom 5 cities in GTA where the prices changed at extreme levels. I'll walk you through the numbers, the property values that changed year over year, and the results are out, and that's the least expected. The property values have jumped in a wide range of double digits growth and double digits losses. So first, I'll give you the 5 top cities where the property values change. Just as a reminder, if you're looking for in details on the website investingmadeeasy.ca, and been posting data on that for quite a number of years in the past. You can go to any month and then check the numbers of where the property values have been. So the first on top of the list for the last year over year till December is Halton Hills, where the property values went up 38%. That's exactly what happened. Last year the properties were selling for roughly 1,092,000 in December, and this year the property values are at 1,750,000. It's not a mistake. This could be, so you have to understand where the variables are. I'll just walk you through first the numbers, then I'll explain to you how the stats are calculated, how the numbers are, what sort of properties these are. Then you'll see Caledon, where the property values were at 1,200,000 last year, versus this year the properties were selling at 1,771,000. That's a 32% growth year over year. Right after that is Kugog. Then last year was 834,615. Now it's like 978,000, which is 15% jump year over year. After that is Oakville. Last year the properties in Oakville were selling for 1,449,000, and this year the average was 1,635,000. That's 11% jump. After that is King. The King Township, as most of the homes are over a couple million over there, and last year the values were roughly about 2,145,000, and this year the property values went up 11% to 2,417,000. This is the property values that have gained, and then there are other cities and towns which have the single digit gains after that. I'm not going to go in details, but you can check again, as I mentioned earlier, and if you want to look at all the numbers in detail, you can go to the website investingmadeeasy.ca and get all the numbers. And not just for this month, but in the past any number of years, I have been collecting that data and then posting on the website. And I do get a lot of feedback from the viewers or investors who are looking at those numbers. And down on the list, I would start at the bottom, which is Vaughan, where the property values dropped 11%. Last year the average property was selling for 1,398,000, and this year it was at 1,261,000. This is a drop of 11% year over year. After that is Whitby at again 11% drop. 1,039,000 was the average price last year. This year the properties were selling for 939,000. And after that is Milton at minus 9%. Last year the average price was 1,076,000, and this year is 990,000. And after that is Oshawa at 769,000. Properties dropped 6% to now at 727,000. And after that is Burlington, where the property values dropped 4% from 1,064,000 to now at 1,026,000. So those are the numbers for the top 5 and the bottom 5 cities where the property values changed year over year. It's very important to understand how the data is collected. This is an average price in a particular city. So if you're looking at any particular city, then we have the detached, semis, and then townhouses all together. That includes the average price. So if it could vary in terms of the property types. So that varies in terms of property values and property types, number of higher valued properties selling or number of lower property values selling. So that's what would throw up the numbers if you would see like a higher number of high value properties selling or higher number of lower property values selling. So that would pretty much tip the scales of the stats. But on an average, that's what the values are, which I've just given. The question you might have is, what's the real reason behind property values going up double digits, not just like 10, 12, but in case of Halton Hills and Caledon, almost 30% plus, 32 in Caledon and 38% in Halton Hills. There could be various reasons. One of the reasons could be these are the areas which are on the northwest of GTA, and Scugog is in the north, and Oakville is again on the west side. These are mostly, I've seen a lot of new construction in the past 3-4 years, and those are the properties that were selling, and people who were really getting those possessions. That's where there was a lot of activity in terms of new builds, and that was selling. So that could be one of the reasons where the property values, where the action was in terms of sales. And again, King City and Oakville, these are higher property value locations. If you look at the bottom, Burlington and Oshawa is on the extreme right side of GTA, and those are mostly lower priced homes, other than on the north side, north of 407, where you have a lot of new construction, and that's where most of the newer homes are selling, and the south of 407 are mostly older homes. And Milton was coming as a surprise as well, because but if you see Milton would be Milton again in the west, would be in the east, and one in the north. These are different areas where the property values have shifted quite a bit. So these are the values in the top and bottom 5 cities. But is this trend going to continue? So right now we are in the mid of January, and then I'm already seeing an activity in terms of multiple offers. I'm going to address this multiple offer situation, because hopefully is the market going to go the way we had in early spring of 2022? I just hope not, because that was a crazy market and nobody wants that market back, because the multiple offers and then the desperation of buyers to get into homeownership was just out of control. And I'm just looking forward to the time when the buyers would have more options, and it looks more like last year was that market, and 2022 late after spring was also pretty much a buyer's market. It wasn't, the inventory wasn't there, but the buyers had control. One thing the buyers must understand is, it's not the sellers who decide on the price. It's always the buyer who decides what the price of the property should be. It's what the buyer is willing to pay for a property is what the property will sell for. It's not it's not what the seller who decides how much I want to sell the property for. It's the buyer who decides how much I'm willing to pay for this particular property. In a peak market, the buyer would be willing to pay higher, and the market, when it gets slower, the buyer would claw back and they would hold on there would be many reasons, and one could be like, the buyers are expecting the property values to drop, and then they're willing to offer less than what is being listed for. And that's given, and that's very normal as well. And that's what even now, so what I'm seeing now is the demand for multiple offers, so the demand for property growing, which is normal, because in springtime we see a lot more activity. The anticipation is that interest rates would be dropping in summer, or in spring or summer. That's the expectation. And then there are a lot of social media posts that are being advocated about this, that interest rates will be dropping eventually. So the buyers are trying to get into the market before this whole thing happens, where the interest rate drops and then the property values goes up. It's may not pan out the way it's being projected, but that's what the expectation are. Currently the inventory is quite a bit lower based on the historical past, but those properties that are being listed below market value are getting multiple offers. I've seen up to 20-25 offers as well in the past couple of weeks, but that may not continue as a trend, because the affordability is not there. Thank you for watching. I'll be putting up more content in the coming weeks, so don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification button so you'll be notified when I do so. Until next time, this is Nakvi signing out from T.Real Estate. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.